Okay, so before we go to the next example, we shall discuss the uh, that is syntax related to this example and the further example, because when we look at the example directly we can understand. So otherwise, we should discuss again what is the format it is following nested for structure. Okay, so we have these two forms, so we can discuss this. Okay, so when you compare this fourth form and fifth form with the previous forms, okay, see here, I have written fourth and fifth form two times because here I have written only the format here with working like the steps I have written. Okay, so when we compare this fourth and fifth form with the previous forms, okay, just we shall compare with third form. So what is the difference here is, see in the fourth form, before before the program control enters into the second loop, okay, second nested, that is nested for, if there are some statements present before the loop and if it is within the nested loop structure, before the second loop and if it is within the nested loop structure, those statements are executed once, then the program control will move to the second loop. Okay, you just observe this fourth form. I think it is visible properly. If it is a problem, you can tell me so that I can open image file. Okay, so you observe this for expression 1, expression 2, expression 3. You look at the steps here. First step is expression 1, we know it. Second step is expression 2, that is checking the condition of the first loop. So after the condition is checked, we know that it will not move to the expression 3 in the previous cases. So it was moving to the second loop directly, but here what happens, there are some statements present before it starts a second loop. So these statements are executed once. Okay, statement 1, statement 2, it is executed once, then it will move to the second loop. Then second loop works as we discussed in the previous forms. So initialization, condition, statements of the loop, increment or decrement of the second loop, again condition, okay, statements of the loop, so increment or decrement. You observe the step numbers here: 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it visible, sir? Srinivas sir, is it visible properly, the including step numbers? Hello, what all the things I have written in the
Visible.
okay, fine. So fourth step, after fourth step, fifth step, that is checking the condition. Then after that, statements of the loop are executed, then increment or decrement. After increment, so it will move to the condition. So in the second loop you observe fifth step, sixth step and seventh steps are repeated. Okay, that is the concept of for loop: checking the condition, statements of the loop, increment or decrement step. Okay, so once the condition of the second loop becomes false, so it will move to the first loop again. So that we know. Extra thing what it is there in this form is, before it starts second loop, some statements are present within the first loop. Those statements are executed, then it will come to the second loop. That thing you have to consider. Okay, so first step, second step, third step is execution of the statements related to the first loop. Fourth step is initialization of the second loop. Fifth step is checking the condition of the second loop. Sixth step is execution of the statements of the second loop. Seventh step is increment or decrement of the second loop. After that, fifth, sixth, and seventh steps are repeated until the condition of the second loop becomes false. Once the condition of the second loop becomes false, you observe the step number here. After seventh, eighth step is increment or decrement of the first loop. Okay, so after increment or decrement of the first loop, we know that again it will go to the condition of the first loop. It will check the condition. So once this condition is true, again the statement 1 to n, statement 1, statement up to n, these statements are executed. Then it will come to the second loop. So this is the process of the format what I have written. Okay, this is the fourth form. So when you come to the fifth form, you just observe the difference between fourth and fifth form. Okay, you observe the fourth and fifth form. So in the fifth form, the extra thing is that is present is, after the second loop, within the first loop there are some statements. You look at these dots. Okay, what I have written. After the second loop, after the closing brace of the second loop, some statements are present within the first loop. So within opening brace and closing brace of first loop. So when you put opening brace and closing brace, then whatever the things you write within that, it is considered for that particular block or for that particular loop. Okay, for the second loop also we have n number of statements. For the first loop, we have n number of statements. That is, before it starts the second loop, and after the end of second loop, we have some statements. So you have to consider those statements also while executing. Okay, because when we discussed first three forms, there were no statements before second loop and after second loop. Okay, so only the statements were related to the second loop. Okay, but while we are discussing now fourth and fifth form, there are some statements before the second loop, there are some statements after the second loop. Those statements also we have to consider. Those statements belongs to the first loop, not for the second loop. Okay, you look at the sentence: when the condition of the first loop is false, so it will directly come to the end of the nested loop structure. Okay, you copy these two things with the numbers what I have written in the circles. Those indicates execution steps. Okay, so when you come, if you come across any doubts, you can ask. So if you look at the arrow marks, what I have put, and the numbers in the circles, what I have put, that indicates execution steps. So by looking at those things, I hope you people can understand everything. But still, if you come across any doubt, you can ask.
I have a question.
Yes.
Um, so in the fourth form,
Ah,
uh, for the first for loop is executed, and this
yes.
expression one two. When
Ah,
2 is true,
ah,
then it will execute the statements.
ah,
One second,
ah.
one second, one second.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just getting a call, so I have to just disconnect. Yeah. Um, okay, at the first for loop, one expression one and two is executed. The expression two is true. Then the say below the next statements are executed, right?
Yes.
And will it go in loop there, or after that, just that once the statement is generated, it will directly go to four?
Yes. 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 One time it will execute and it will come to the second loop.
Okay, so there's no looping, but it is just a few steps that it goes through one cycle, just
Ah,
one once, and then it will go to the similar to the second and the first form. It will go to the next for loop and execute there completely.
yes.
When that is completed, it will go back to first for loop again. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes. Ah.
Oh, oh,
So in the second round, again, those statements are executed.
okay. The similar action will happen. Only extra thing is that earlier we didn't have any statements for the first for loop, so here we have some statements.
Yes.
The
Yes.
only
Yes.
okay. Okay. And in the second form five also, it's the same thing, right?
Yes.
There's no
Yes.
change.
Yes. Same thing. One extra thing is like after the condition of the second loop is false, you just look at the arrow mark from expression 5 to 8th step, it will go.
Uh, what is the I mean, why that kind of it should actually go back, right, to the first expression.
Yes, but still some statements are present which belongs to first loop but not for the second loop.
Oh, you mean to say that step 8 is some statements of the first
First loop.
for loop itself?
Ah, yes.
Okay, so once that is completed, then it will go back to first for loop.
Ah, yes, yes. Just I put the arrow mark. I think it's visible. After that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's visible. It's visible.
dotted
Okay.
lines.
So only partial of the statements is given there in the point three,
Ah,
and for the first statement,
ah.
and after the second for loop, there are the remaining of the first for loop statements are
Statements
given. That's it.
are given. Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we shall move to the next example, third example of nested for. Okay, so here you look at this example. See, if we look at the second and third example, we think that it is similar, but one difference is there. I will tell you what is the difference. Uh, First, we shall look at the output. Then we'll come to know the little difference in the output. Okay. In the second example, output is, so we are printing 1, 2, 3, and again in the next line 1, 2, 3, and in the next line 1, 2, 3. So how many rows we are printing and how many columns we are printing? So we are printing all the numbers. Okay, here. So in the first row, 3 columns are there. So we are printing 1, 2, 3. And again in the second row, 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. Third row, 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. If you look at the example 3, the output of example 3, see, you look at the output. See, in the first row, I am printing 1. Okay. In the second row, I am printing 1, 2. In the third row, I am printing 1, 2, 3. So this is the difference between second example's output and third example output. Okay. So now we will see how we can write the code here. Okay. See, first for loop is same. Okay, there is nothing difference in the first for loop. When we come to the second loop, you look at the condition. You just compare the condition between the second example and third example. So in the second example, j less than or equals to 3. So this is the condition. In the third example, j less than or equals to I. That's all. That is the difference here. So from this difference only we are getting this output. Okay, that is 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If I am changing the I value, sorry, condition of the I value like I less than or equals to 4, so one more row will be printed. If I change to I less than or equals to 5, one more row. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Okay, just by changing the value of the I loop, that is I less than or equals to 3, instead of 3 if you give 4, 4 rows, instead of 4 if you give 5, 5 rows, in that way. Okay, remaining thing will be same. Okay, so we'll look at the tracing here. Okay, so I loop, so I is equals to 1, I less than or equals to 3, 1 less than or equals to 3, condition is true, so that we know. When we go to the j loop, it starts from 1, j equals to 1. See here, we shall look at the j loop, how many times it will execute. So it will not execute 3 times. In this particular example, it will not execute 3 times that means in every round. Instead, it will execute the number of times depending on the I value. So what will be the value of I? So many number of times it will be executed. For example, you look at the first round. So I is equals to 1. So j loop is executed once. Next round, I is equals to 2. J loop is executed 2 times. Next round, I is equals to 3. J loop is executed 3 times. So when you look at the first round, if j loop executes 1 time, okay, only one value is printed. Next, in the second round, 2 times it is executed. 2 values are printed. That is, I am printing j value only. 2 times it is printed. That is with different values. First time 1, second time 2. When you look at the third round, 3 times it will execute. Okay, it will print 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we look at the tracing. So look at the first round. So I is equals to 1, I less than or equals to 3, 1 less than or equals to 3, condition is true. J is equals to 1, j less than or equals to I. In this case, don't write 3 here, you write I if we want this type of output. Okay, so by using nested for, we can design any output in terms of rows and columns. Okay, so j less than or equals to I, 1 less than or equals to 1. So first time condition is true. So print j. So here I am printing the value of j. So that is 1. Okay. So next, j value will be incremented. J becomes 2. Whenever we write j plus plus, j value is 2. J less than or equals to y, you substitute the value of j, that is 2. 2 less than or equals to 1, condition is false. So here in the second round only it is becoming false. That is, when you consider the j loop, in the second round it has become false. So we'll come to the printf statement. So as we have looked at the fourth and fifth for, after the end of the j loop, it has to come to the I loop. But before going to the I loop, that is increment or decrement, it will check whether there are any statements present which belongs to I loop. So printf is present. So backslash n with backslash n. So the program control will move to the next line in the console screen. After that, you can increment the I value. So I value, if you increment the I value becomes 2. 2 less than or equals to 3. So next you look at the j loop, starts from 1. 1 less than or equals to 2, condition is true, print j. 2 less than or equals to 2, condition is true, print j. So 2 times we are printing. J value equals to 1 and j value equals to 2. So 1 and 2 are printed. So when j value becomes 3, condition will be false because 3 less than or equals to 2 here. So again I am telling here, don't consider j less than or equals to 3, consider j less than or equals to I. Okay, so when j loop becomes false, execute the printf statement, program control will move to the next line. Next, again increment the value of I, so I becomes 3, I less than or equals to 3, 3 less than or equals to 3, condition is true. So now 3 times j loop is executed. For j is equals to 1, j is equals to 2, j is equals to 3. So each time j value is printed. So 1 space 2 space 3. So when j value becomes false, 4 less than or equals to 3, condition is false. So execute the printf statement, that is backslash n. After executing that, you can go to the I loop, I plus plus, I is equals to 4, 4 less than or equals to 3, condition is false. Program control comes out of the nested loop structure. So in this way, we can design the output. So that means actually these examples are present in the textbooks, but once we look at the output, so we should understand the coding. That's all. Code and output both are present. So just we have to trace the code so that we can come to know how the output is generated. Okay, so you can copy this example with tracing and output. So one more thing. So these type of codings 100% in interview they will ask, like if you put in the resume like C, C++, Java and all. So coming to the C language, they may ask, you can write in any language, C, C++ or Java, but just they will write this output. They will tell to generate this output by using nested for loop. Okay, then you can write this code. So for today, you can copy this example, tracing and output, then you can leave. So we shall stop the class. Tomorrow we can continue.
Can you please reference the theory concept textbook or reference book in the WhatsApp group, please, so that it will be easy to refer.
Okay, sir. Fine. I'll do it.
Okay, so the class is done for today, right? So we are,
Yes, sir. Yes.
thank you. We'll connect.
Okay.